I've been living in The Hague in the Netherlands for over a month now. But because the process of finding an apartment here is challenging, that means I've actually just been living out of hotel rooms this entire time. Before I left the United States, I cut out 2 different sewing projects to take with me. A modern shirt that I've already made once before out of a green linen, and a fully lined wool cloak that I've also already pattern tested. I've also started working on this tailoring project. This is a jacket that I bought while I was here, so it's not something that I'm building from scratch, but I am actually taking this as an opportunity to learn a little bit more about tailoring. Okay, editing Embry here. Something very bad happened to the audio file on this. We don't need to get into specifics, but we're going to do some exciting ADR, so please enjoy this incredible voiceover work I'm about to do. This is my little sewing box. It may be small, but I have packed it really carefully, and this thing is a total lifeline. On the first layer, we've got a pair of snips, off-white thread, a tape measurer, and this lovely needlebook made for me by my wonderful friend Ollie. Inside the needlebook, I not only have needles, but pins as well. Then I have brown thread, more pins, sewing clips, and this is the sort of sculpture slash thimble project I made for myself out of cast silver, and I am still enormously pleased with it. It may not seem like much, but with this collection of objects, I can do quite a bit. Like these prick stitches here on the shirt that I'm making, which attach the visible silk facing of the shirt. This will be the center front of the shirt once I'm finished with it, and I think the hand-done prick stitches actually look really nice. If I had done this on a machine, it would have been totally fine, it would have just been top-stitched, but because I'm doing it by hand, I'm able to actually kind of incorporate more historical sewing techniques, which is kind of fun. I also hand sewed a French seam on the shoulder seam of this shirt. I was just following the pattern instructions and I wasn't thinking a lot. This was also like deep in the jet lag phase. And it said French sew the seam, and so I French sewed the seam. And it's only after it that I sort of questioned myself there, because that makes a lot of sense if you're doing it by machine, and it does not make a lot of sense if you're doing it by hand. If I'd thought about it, I would have just sewed a typical seam and then felled the interior, but I didn't think about it, so here we are. Oh, and you can also see my basting stitches, which I still need to take out. I would say my hand sewing is adequate. I am not a particularly adept hand sewer, but at the end of the day, most of the stitches you make won't be very visible to the naked eye. On the whole, people are not going to go in there and sort of like inspect your stitching, so if you're not sewing because you're worried that your hand stitching isn't that great, don't worry about it. No one really looks. It's fine. If someone is looking that carefully at the inside of your shirt collar, hopefully they have other things on their mind. I've actually made this cloak before on this channel. It was a gray fabric, and I really just wanted to show off the really cool buttons that I made. I made them using enamel and copper, and I was able to completely custom make some buttons. But I want to make a version that's maybe a little bit more everyday and a little bit more weather appropriate. So I'm using this brown wool and this mystery material for the lining. I'm pretty sure it's a synthetic something or other, but I don't actually know where I got it from. This brown wool is super rad. I think it is literally from the 1970s. One of my mom's best friends actually gave this to me, and I never really quite found the right project for it, but I really wanted to use it, so I thought this was a perfect way to take it with me. It's got all these little different colors in it. Let's go in here with the macro lens and really get a good look at it, because it's just, I don't know, there's something about retro fabric that is just absolutely delightful. I haven't started this one yet. I'll probably wait until it gets a little bit closer to being seasonally appropriate, but I am pretty stoked, and I'll probably make a video about this one just because I'm really excited about it. And here's the altering project. This jacket fits really well around the middle section of my body, but does not fit really at all around my shoulders. There's just a ton of extra material. So I actually decided, rather than do what I typically do, which is buy something that fits in the shoulders and then expand to fit the belly, I did the reverse. I bought something that fits in the belly but does not fit in the shoulders. And while this is a more challenging approach, I wanted to actually learn how to do it. So I've taken off the collar and the sleeves, and I took about 3 inches from the shoulder seam, which changes the arm side, which means I have to change the sleeves, and then I have to change the collar to add the collar back on, and it becomes basically rebuilding the shirt from the ground up, which I'm okay with. I think it's a really fun opportunity to learn. You can also see here on the back, I had to add a box pleat because I had to recut the curve of the collar itself. Once I finish adding the collar back on, I will do a little bit of math and re-sew the sleeves back on, and then it will be pretty much done. Here's another thing I did on this shirt, and I've done that on a couple of other shirts too. It's a really nice way of making it have a little bit more give around the belly and hips. I have wider hips than your standard cisgendered guy, and this is a quote-unquote men's jacket. So what I did is I just added a small placket to the side seam. I just opened up the side seam, rolled back the seam allowance, and then re-sewed it down, so it just has a little bit more flexibility there. This is something you can do to basically any shirt, and it does not take that much time. For the tailoring project, I am really excited with how well I think it's going. We'll see how it turns out in the end. This is pretty experimental for me. I do not have a lot of experience in this yet, but as someone with a fairly non-standard body composition, I'm really excited for the possibilities, and I want to share more about this going forward. So once I have at least one project under my belt, I'm going to start doing a little bit of documenting as I do this to more and more clothes, because I think it's something that we can all benefit from, right? We want clothes to actually fit us, so let's figure out how to make that happen. And obviously we can do that by sewing our own clothes, but sometimes there's just a really cool thing that you want to wear that exists in the world. And yeah, let's figure out how to make it fit us. I think we deserve that. So that's what I'm working on. It's been really important to me and really good for me to have projects to work on, and as a reward for getting to the very end of the video, I have some great news to share, which is we managed to find an apartment. So unless things go unexpectedly awry, the next video you see from me will not be filmed in a hotel room where I'm living out of my luggage, but it will be somewhere I can actually call home. And critically, there will be cats again. I'm sure you've missed the cat content. I have missed the cat content. And it means wonderful things to have an apartment, and the cats are definitely part of that. Anyway, that's it for this little video. I just wanted to share some of how I've been able to keep up with making things while I've been on the move. Thank you so much for being with me along on this ride. I know it's been a little bit weird. I know things have been a little bit up in the air. I think the future is going to bring some great stuff. We just have to get there. Until next time, be queer and make stuff. It is more important than ever. Thank you for being you. Okay, bye.